Hey guys, good morning everyone. Okay, first question, how are you guys doing? Everyone doing good? Okay, that's great to hear. Okay, how many of you guys completed watching all the recordings for Tableau? I know a lot of you guys couldn't stay back and actually listen to the rest of the last class, I guess, because last class was way too long. So, yeah, that's why I'm asking. How many of you guys completed watching the recording? Okay, last two classes pending, done. Okay. Okay, my question, I mean, why I was asking this is because just wanted to understand if you guys have any doubts or any questions, and if you want me to, answer any of your questions, doubts, or anything that like sort of similar things. So, yeah, any questions, any doubts, guys? Okay, you have doubts. Okay, you guys can go on with your doubts one by one.
I had one question about LOD expression. There was a question assignment that explained LOD expression with I forgot the question though. So
Okay.
LOD expression is related to the parameter or calculated field we created. Is it so?
No. So I'll just talk about this in quickly. I mean, basically, first thing is that there will be few questions in assignments that are not taught exactly, and that is given because so that you guys can do a little bit of research from your side and you learn about that. Like you can just Google up things, right? So that deliberately those things are given, right? Because or else your learning curve won't go high. That's the first thing. And second thing is LOD means level of detail. So level of detail again means that Tableau allows users to control how granular you can go in any calculation. Like any calculation that you perform or any visualization that you perform, you how detailed can you go, that is level of detail. Like if you include few values, if you compute values using some dimensions, if you exclude few values, all of those are LODs. So it just allows users to analyze data and answer any kind of analysis questions that has multiple level of granularity. That's it. They can be used for aggregations, anything, right? And something that, like for example, drilling down, like you can see year, quarters, month, week.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, any other doubts? And next question.
Box plot means is it anything new or just a tabular?
Okay, box plot anyway we will learn in detail in Excel, because box plot in Excel is more descriptive. But I'll just talk about box plot in general. So what is a box plot? It's basically it's basically called as box and whisker plot. Okay, so it is done to check or demonstrate graphically how my data looks like. Okay, so it's like summarizing a set of data, and it's a type of graph which basically showcases what is my distribution of the data, how does the data look like, where are there outliers in my data.
Is it box and whisker plot is different from box plot?
No, no, it's the same one.
Okay.
Box plot is like a short name that people usually call it by, but the full form is box and whisker, because in that same graph you can see there is a box and there are two whiskers. That's why it's called a box and whisker plot.
That's why I used that I thought it's the same one.
It's the same, right? So it's just that we will learn it in Excel in more detail, but yeah, it's a visualization to see data distribution, and you can basically see how your data looks like, how your data is spread out, and what is the mean median values, like statistical values of your data, and in case there is any outlier, those are basically visible. And for that you need to know about IQR, which is interquartile range. That's something we will learn in Excel. So yeah, was that clear?
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay, next. Anyone else? Any other questions?
There is one thing in assignment like adding annotations. What is it exactly?
So adding annotations in what context?
It gave in the question like add an annotation to a line chart that shows
Ah,
sales over time
okay.
to highlight it. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Annotations are nothing but in that sense, annotations are nothing but details. So if you like if, for example, if you add data labels from your mark card, or if you
Hmm.
create text box, so those details that you add, formatting annotations, like format your aesthetics, borders, colors, etc. Then if you include any kind of slicers or slice my bad legends and etc., those are all annotations.
But here it is mentioned like add an annotation to highlight a significant sales event. It's
To
a
say
spike in
highlight
the
it.
sales. It is
Like there is one
sorry.
option when we right click on the chart, it shows annotate. So I use that in that. Is it the same thing?
Yeah, so if you right click and if you add annotate, it allows you to add annotations. Like for example, if you want to format that particular area, or you can use it from marks card as well. Like for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say you plotted a map, okay, and in that map you want to mark or you want to highlight a specific point, like a location or an area or something. So you can just highlight that. So either you highlight it by just selecting that part and creating a set that will highlight that particular value from the rest of the values, or you can right click and select annotate, and there you can choose that do you want to put it as a mark means um you will basically associate that selected area with a mark. Okay. And point means it will basically get annotated with a specific point in that view. And area means an whole area, like a cluster of targeted region or a cluster of data points will get highlighted. That's the detail. That's it. Got it?
I got it. When we'll try once. If not, I will ask in the next class.
Sure, sure. Okay, anybody else? Come on, guys, you can ask your questions and doubts before we move to the next module.
Meghna, this year over year growth is that only like if we add any fields there, we in the edit table options calculation, we got the option of year over year growth. Is it the same, or do we have to create any calculated field?
It it is a calculation that compares, year over year. So once you set up your x-axis and y-axis, you can just if you just drop the year in the color shelf, it will anyway give you a quick table calculation of year over year. So you can just use that. It's the same.
Okay.
Instead of
Oh,
building from scratch, you can just use that.
okay, okay.
How to calculate actual and target sales? Okay, so this is a contextual question, Shalini. Like, depends on your data. What is the data that has been given to you? Based on that only, I will be able to speak about this actual and target sales. See, sometimes in the data, actual sales and target sales is given. So in this case, I think the question is asking you to analyze that what is the comparison of actual versus target sales. If it is not given, then actual sales will be, whatever we actually sold, whatever quantity we actually sold into the price of each product, right? That will be actual. And target will be whatever was our target quantity to be sold into the price that we sold, into the price that is there for each product. So it depends on the context of the question. Was that clear, Shalini? Okay. Any other questions? Any
One
other?
one more thing, creating stories like it is different from dashboard, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, means I didn't understand the topic. That's why I'm asking. Like
Okay.
story.
1 second. I'll just show you.
Hmm.
Give me a minute. Okay, I think my Tableau has um the application is not responding. So give me a minute. It will take a little time to open up. Okay, I'll just share my screen quickly. Okay, cool. So let's say I create few worksheets and then I'll show you how a story works. Okay. So let me first create few worksheets. Okay. Um, okay. And let's say category sales. Let's create these ones. Okay. Now let's say I create a dashboard. Okay. So for creating a dashboard, I'll click on new dashboard. And whatever you want, you can add it up over here. So you can firstly add a text box. Let's say summary. Okay, and then let's say I'll add my graphs over here. So this became a dashboard. Dashboard has just one page. Okay. So in this, you can basically see what are the different graphs that you have, and like how does it look like in total and etc. So you can just see a view. If I add a story, okay, then I can basically add a dashboard, another multiple dashboards or worksheets along with that. So if I create one more dashboard, let's say, where let's say I add my this data along with sales. Okay. Now here what I'll do is in dashboard 2, maybe I can add my sheet 3. Just showing an example. Okay, so when I create a story, I can drag my dashboard one, so it shows the summary view dragging a dashboard one. You can add a caption and etc. If you click on blank, it will add one more slide to this particular story. So there you can add dashboard 2. So it will show details of dashboard 2. If you add a blank and let's say you added one more graph. So here you can add worksheet, you can add dashboards. It's like a slide by slide presentation that you can see over here. That is the difference between dashboard and story. Got it? Dashboard is just one view. You can't see multiple slides or multiple pages over here. But in story, you can do that. Was that clear?
Yes, yes. Got it.
Okay, any other doubts, any other questions?
One more thing was there, like device specific dashboard view optimized for tablets. What is it?
Okay, so it's basically nothing but the fact that you can customize your dashboard based on different view. Like right now, if you see, this is a device preview, right? This tells you that if someone opens this up in a device, like a laptop or these kind of devices, then this is how the dashboard will look like. If you just change it to phone, then it will tell you that in phone, this is how the layout will come up. Can you see that? This is a phone layout. So if you go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this is a device layout, and you can change your sizes also from here, like I do. Right, in that case, you can see an enlarged view as well.
Okay, here in this asked for tablet.
Yeah, so even if it is tablet, you can, there are multiple kind of devices that are available in lot of Tableau sheets. Like for us, you can see there are only two, default and phone. But in a lot of Tableau versions, there is tablet also present over here. So it will show you the tablet view. In fact, over here also they show up tablet view. But for us in this version, I don't have that tablet option over here. But it's the
So
same
for
thing.
that yeah, for that particular question, we can show whatever available with our tablet,
Yeah.
right? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other doubts? Okay, no other doubts, no other questions. Are we good to start with the next module?
The moving average is nothing but average only, or it is something?
Moving average is running total. It's the same thing. So the
Okay,
running
okay.
total that we
Yeah,
had
okay.
calculated. Okay, cool. Let me just share my screen and let's get started. Right. Okay. So today we will start with Excel, but we won't learn the tool Excel, but we will instead learn data analysis with Excel. Okay, so there's a difference. Learning the tool Excel, Excel can be utilized in multiple ways, but we'll instead learn data analysis with Excel. Okay. So start off with what is data analysis? Data analysis is nothing but the process where you identify what is the problem and then you answer questions like what happened in the data, why it happened in the data. You try to understand the data a little bit more. You try to understand what is the data trying to tell you. You know, what are the hidden parts in that data? And based on those things, you basically come out with insights. You come out with insights, you come out with story points, and that determines that what is wrong or what is actually present in the data, which again helps us with further business decision making or any which ways data driven decision making. So that's the whole point of doing a data analysis. But there are multiple parts to data analysis which we will discuss in a in a while. But first thing, what are the different type of data analysis that we can do? Can anyone answer me this question? I think I've talked about this question in some of the previous classes. Can anyone answer me what are the different types of data analysis?
Descriptive, are those the data analysis?
I couldn't hear you, sorry.
I'll write.
Okay. What about others?
It's like understanding the history and getting the pattern for future
Mm,
forecast.
Not exactly, but anything, any terms that you remember? Yeah, yeah. I think Preksha, you're getting it right.
Predictive,
Right,
prescriptive.
right. So I'll just talk about that in detail, okay, so that you understand what it is. Okay. The first thing is descriptive analytics or descriptive analysis. Okay. Okay, for one thing, do you guys want me to talk about this in detail, or are you guys clear with descriptive and etc.? Because I had talked about it briefly in the first class. Do you guys want me to detail it out again?
Yeah,
You
just if you can
sure?
give insight high level.
Okay, what others you can just comment a yes or no. I just want to understand what is your position of understanding in this case. In detail, okay, cool. See, there are four different types of data analysis. Descriptive, then we have diagnostic, then we have predictive, and then we have prescriptive. Okay. The first one, descriptive, this aims to understand what is there in the data. It focuses on what is there present in the data. So it actually summarizes the features of data. So this is the question on what is the part of the data or what is the problem. This kind of analysis focuses on the part of what is the problem or what has happened. If I just want to answer the question, what has happened, I need to understand what has happened, right? Has the sales gone up, or is it like the returns has gone up? What really happened in the data? That is my point of doing a descriptive analysis. Okay. So in terms of, I mean, taking help from statistics, descriptive analytics is all about understanding this again in understanding what happened in the data. So you will need statistics to be able to understand that. So, like measures of central tendency. So it will help you with mean, median, and mode. Like you can understand what is the mean sales, which means nothing but average sales. What is the, let's say, mode of product category, so that will tell you which product category got sold the most. Okay, or let's say what is the standard deviation in sales, what is the variation in sales, or if you plot histograms, if you plot pie charts, or if you plot bar charts. These are all key techniques which are involved in descriptive analytics, because all of these things will actually tell you what happened. So if you notice the graphs that we created in Tableau, they're actually all telling us what happened, right? So for example, let's say there is a retail store, and that retail store is trying to analyze their data, all the data that they have accumulated over the months. Okay, so maybe they'll start with calculating what is the average monthly sales. Maybe then they will identify what is the best selling product categories. So in this way, they're trying to dig in and understand what is happening in current scenario, right? And maybe they can also create a bar chart, and they will show what is the distribution of sales across categories or across different regions and etc. So this will help us identifying what happened in the data. The purpose is just to gain a very clear understanding of current state, what is the current state of the data, and if there is any pattern or trend present in the data. That's descriptive analytics. Is the first one clear? Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll just be back. Okay, so that's descriptive analytics. Okay, the next part of analytics is basically diagnostic analysis. So, what is diagnostic analysis? It again goes beyond describing what happened. Till now, we described what happened, right? Diagnostic analysis goes beyond describing what really happened. And this kind of seeks to understand why it happened. So, if I try to answer the question of, why something happened, that will be diagnostic analysis. So that's why the name also is diagnostic analysis, because it is involving all processes that investigate what is the cause that something has happened, what is the underlying cause of whatever patterns you have observed, whatever anomalies you have observed, and etc. Like if you say that your total sales has gone down month over month, so diagnostic analysis will tell you that did it go down, what is the cause, what is the reason behind this sales month over month going down, right? So any kind of techniques which include like cause analysis, it's a very common analysis that we do, just to understand what is the fundamental reason behind the problem. Or if you do a drill down analysis so that you can explore data at granular level, or if you kind of do any kind of hypothesis testing which comes under statistical testings and etc. Those are all understandings or techniques involved in identifying what is the cause behind whatever happened. So we basically go beyond describing what really happened, and we ask questions like why it happened. Like, for example, in the same retail sales example, right? Like I was saying in the last one. So, if let's say the person has identified that there are few products, okay. So, let's say they have identified that there are few products which actually has declining sales, like products for which sales has declined. So, the diagnostic analysis will tell them why was that decline happening. Maybe the decline is because customer feedback is not good, or maybe it's because the product quality is not good, or maybe it is because the seller and retailers relationship is causing an issue or something similar, right? So, like for example, let's say a website, for that matter. Let's say there is a website who is experiencing a sudden drop in traffic. Suddenly, the website traffic has dropped, let's say. So diagnostic analysis will help you understand, um, what is the user's behavior, technical issues, marketing campaigns. If is that the reason? What is the reason that the traffic has dropped? So this is basically called as diagnostic analysis. Is that clear? It basically identifies factors that contributed to a particular finding or outcome. That is basically diagnostic analysis. Now, is it clear for everyone? Okay, what about the rest of you guys? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. The next one, the next part of analysis is predictive analysis. Now, this I'm pretty sure everyone, understands, right? So, predictive analysis is all about answering the question, what will happen? Okay. So, after you understand that what is happening in the data and why it is happening, predictive analysis is going to use your historical data and any kind of statistical model to actually forecast future outcomes or future trends, right? So it basically answers the question of what will happen, right? And there are many kind of predictive analysis that can be done. Like for example, there is regression analysis, which deals with continuous values. Can anyone tell me what is continuous values? If anyone remembers.
Like quantitative or
Sorry?
like quantitative.
Yeah. So continuous values are basically numbers or numerical data which is continuous in nature. Like for example, something which is present in a range of numbers. Like for example, okay. Good. Like for example, let's say weight or height. So if I tell, let's say the height is ranging from somewhere between 5'3" to 6'11". So the people present in my data can have any height between 5'3" to 6'11". It can be 5.4444 also. It can be absolutely any number with any decimal precision between a given range. That's a continuous value. So if I want to work on or predict these continuous values, I have to use regression. So in often terms, you might have heard that, we are trying to predict sales or we are trying to predict revenue, right? So when we are predicting these kind of things, sales, revenue, or let's say number of customers who will visit our store or etc, these are all numbers, these are all numerical numbers that can have any range, that can have any value also within a range. So that's why these kind of analysis is called a regression analysis, which completely deals with continuous values, versus the other one, that other kind of analysis that can be done is classification. So classification is the one that deals with categories. Like for example, male, female is a category. Or let's say different type of fruits, apple, mango, banana, etc. So let's say you're trying to predict that which fruit will be sold the most. Or let's say you are trying to predict, for example, let's say for every customer, you're trying to predict which is the most probable fruit that they will buy. Okay. So let's say someone is most probable to buy apple, the other person might be most probable to buy mango. So these kind of analysis is called as classification, which deals with categorical values. Then there are time series analysis as well, where you work with time related data and you predict what is going to be the future value based on time or based on past trends. So all these kind of analysis is basically predictive analysis, right? And the whole point of doing a predictive analysis is just to anticipate future events, understand what is going to happen in the future, and make proactive decisions based on that, right? So, like for example, that same retail sales company, which actually which actually identified that their sales is declining for few products, maybe because of the product quality, can now use predictive analytics and identify what will be the sales of those products in the upcoming future, right? And based on that, they can take decisions or business decisions that what can be done, more marketing, better product quality, or inventory stocking. I mean, obviously taking a decision based on the findings that come out of the predictive analytics, right? Most cases, like for example, bank also uses predictive analytics if they want to identify who are the loan defaulters, right? Who are the people who won't be able to pay back their loans based on their credit score, based on their income, and so many other factors. So that's predictive analytics. Is that clear? Clear for everyone? Okay, so last but not the least kind of analysis is prescriptive analysis. Anyone, any idea what is prescriptive analytics? Like whatever you understood, based on that, what can be prescriptive analytics?
It's like if this thing happened, then what could be done to avoid that, or how it could be enhanced like that.
Okay, okay, right, right.
What we
Hmm.
can do to resolve it or
Hmm. Right. So prescriptive analytics is all about what should we do, so it goes beyond predictions and it goes beyond descriptive. Like we first understood what happened, then we understood why it happened, then we understood what is gonna happen next, right? So now it goes beyond that prediction and provides recommendations. Okay, so that's basically prescriptive analytics. It provides recommendations so that optimal actions can be taken, so that right decisions, data driven decisions can be taken. So that's why I said that this is the answer to the question of what should we do, right? And again, the whole aim of this process is to help create a better decision making process, optimize the whole decision making process and optimize outcomes and etc. So again, you will be shocked, but I mean, you might be shocked, you might not be shocked as well, but there are techniques for prescriptive analytics as well. It is not as theory as it looks like. Like it is not always theory. It's not like always we just look at the result and we try to give recommendations that, let's go for marketing, or let's go for, um, discounts or something. Something like that. No, it doesn't work like that always, right? A lot of times we use techniques also for prescriptive analytics. Like for example, we use optimization algorithms. What is optimization algorithm? So if you've heard about linear programming, or if you've heard about integer programming, those kind of algorithms are used. Sometimes simulation is used. Simulation is where, let's say we decide that we are going to go ahead with marketing. Okay, so let's say I decide that I am going to market through Instagram. Okay, so if I want to market through Instagram, I will simulate that scenario, right? And I will basically try to see in simulation that what will happen if I market through marketing campaign, like if I market through Instagram. So this will like give me an insight of this, will this become a success or a failure? Based on that, I can take the recommendation ahead. Like if it works out, I will tell, yeah, fine, let's go for Instagram. And if not, we will not go through Instagram. So simulation is like creating those virtual real world systems that imitate or that replicate what is going to actually happen in the future, right? Or some kind of decision analysis. This is a simple one, right? Can be done where you just evaluate what kind of decision options do you have, what are the pros, cons, etc. And in fact, you can also use reinforcement learning. Anyone knows what is reinforcement learning? Any by any which way? No one knows what is reinforcement learning? Have you heard about it at least?
I think it's like enforcing something, and based on that, we keep on doing and getting into a conclusion, kind of.
Okay. No. So reinforcement learning is a type of, again, machine learning idea. So all it does is it behaves like human. Okay. So it's a type of machine learning where there are agents. And those agents in the sense not human agents, machine agents, which tries to make decisions on our basis. Right? Agents will make decisions by interacting with the environment. That's basically reinforcement learning, right? For example, let's say I'm trying to navigate how can I design a marketing campaign. So the agent will design a marketing campaign initially with starting based on feedback, based on current data, it will tell us what can be done better. We will incorporate that in the agent. Then it will take the next decision. So it's like a human brain. Like how we learn and we identify what can be done next, what can be done better. Same way the reinforcement learning also works. There are agents who try to make optimal decisions in dynamic environments. Got it? For example, that person, the same retail sales example, if they know that, there are say few products that has caused the issue, and let's say even by predicting, they can see that the sales will only decline in the next few months, they can use prescriptive analysis and identify, and basically take decisions like, go for better product quality and, market that, right? Instead of giving discount, market that now we are giving better product quality, and reach out to more customers, retain their customers, and etc., right? So that's basically prescriptive analytics. Is that clear for everyone? Okay, Preksha, somewhere, yes. Okay, what is the doubt that you have?
Saying I have heard about reinforcement learning.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, right. Other than that, you can also hear about one more very, obvious term called EDA. So EDA is nothing but exploratory data analysis. This is kind of a data analysis which is like a collective term. It's like a collective term of descriptive and diagnostic analysis. So it's all about, that preliminary investigation of the data and identify what patterns exist in my data, what are the relationships or anomalies present in the data, right? So when I don't know about the data, when I don't know anything about the data, I'll try to understand the data. I'll try to understand what is present inside the data. That is what EDA will basically tell us, right? So are we all good with data analysis?
EDA is a part of data analysis only, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just a collective term of all descriptive and diagnostic analysis, right? So everything which revolves around identifying the data, understanding what is present in the data, patterns present in the data, relationships present in the data, that's EDA. Got it? Okay. Okay, clear, right? Okay. So I actually have curated something for you guys. I've curated a small case study for you guys so that you understand this topic of data analysis even better. So I'll give you a background, okay? I'll give you a background, and I want you guys to identify how different kind of analysis that we discussed fits in this particular background, right? So can we do that? Okay. So the case study is about streamlining logistics for a particular company. Okay. So we are trying to streamline logistics for this company called as QuickShip. What is QuickShip? I'll tell you the details about that as well. Yeah. So QuickShip is basically nothing but a very rapidly growing e-commerce logistic company, and it is facing challenges with its shipping cost. And they've kind of noticed that there is fluctuations in their expenses, and they want to identify areas where they can optimize their operation. So they have provided you this there is a data set that they have provided you with. Not that you will have to actually do the analysis, but it's just for your reference that this kind of data is available with us. We just want to identify what can be done in this case, right? um and you can maybe help me provide examples of how different kind of data analysis could be applied to the quick ship case study over here. Okay, is that clear for everyone? And again, this kind of case study questions is what you get in a lot of company interviews. So you will be given a case study, you will be maybe given a sample data, and they want you to understand that how will you go about analyzing this data. So create a structured approach over here, and maybe you can create a doc and paste that answers in the chat box. Okay, everyone, can we do that? Can I get a yes, no quickly? Firstly, is everyone clear with the task? Can I get some responses?
Like we have to analyze it with based on descriptive, prescriptive, and all, right?
Yes, and tell that how that fits in for this particular company, and how can you help this particular company with those analysis basically. Got it? Okay. So I'll give you maybe 20 minutes to curate your document. Can everyone do that? Can I get a curated structured document for this case study in the next 20 minutes? I'll send you the case study also in the chat box. Okay, guys, I got answers from Preksha and Sarika. I read their answers. Rahul, okay, let me read your doc. Okay, Rahul, can you give me access?
Yes.
And what about others? Did you try to curate anything? Okay, got it, Gayatri. Rahul, did the access got updated?
Not yet. I'll just post it in the chat itself.
Okay. All right, okay. Got it. Cool. Okay, we have asked from Astha as well. All right, all right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, cool. So, okay, I won't go in detail for this case study because you guys already dived deep, but I'll just give you a summary of how can we, perform the different kind of analysis over here. So, talking about descriptive, it is about what has happened, right? So we can understand over here, we can understand the overall picture of quick ships shipping cost, right? So maybe start by understanding what is the average shipping cost. Then maybe I can see what is the distribution of shipping cost. How is the shipping cost, distributed? Like, do they have outliers? What are the data distributions and etc. Maybe also I can see how frequently different products are shipped. I can create a bar chart kind of thing which will show me for every product type how many shipments are being done. Is there any noticeable trend in the data which I can notice over time, or what is it like? I will be able to see these details that will tell me what happened. Then for diagnostic analysis, For diagnostic analysis, I can identify why these patterns happened. So I will dig deeper and I'll understand why these patterns happened and why do they exist. So, for example, I can identify that is there any specific product type which has higher shipping cost than others? Is there any certain time period where we see unusually high or unusually low shipping cost? That will give us a good insight. Or I can see, let's say, if shipping cost has any kind of correlation with any other factors like distance traveled or the weight of the shipment or anything similar. That will also give me I mean understanding of why certain things are happening and etc. So that I'll do for descriptive and diagnostic maybe. So for predictive, I can go about and understand and forecast future shipping cost and anticipate what can be the potential issues. Like, for example, I can go ahead and predict what will be the average shipping cost in the next quarter just by using time series analysis. Or I can predict which shipments can have high cost based on their product type. So I can use regressing model for this. I can also check for upcoming periods due to holidays or anything similar. Can we expect that there is a surge in shipping cost? So these kind of things can be done in predictive analytics. Last one is prescriptive, where I can give recommendations based on my findings, right? Actionable, actionable recommendations, right? For example, should we negotiate with different shipping carriers, or should we optimize the packaging or warehousing strategies? And what about different shipping options, faster versus slower shipping, so that customers get to choose what they want to pay for shipping and etc. So these kind of things can be done in this case study, right? So everybody clear till here?
Yes.
All right. I'll send you guys a data set. I've sent you the data set in the chat box. Can you guys open up that data set in Excel? Just let me know once you guys are done opening it up in Excel. Waiting for others to open it up. Just let me know once you're done. All right. So this is your Excel screen, like your Excel home screen, right? So I am using Microsoft 365. You guys can use your Excel, but it's better if you use Microsoft anything up after 2020. It's better because you have advanced AI features which will not be present in the rest of the versions. And the best case is if you use Microsoft 365. Okay, it's a paid subscription, but it is going to be beneficial in the future. Okay, so we are going to just understand a little bit about Microsoft Excel today. I'll introduce you, I'll tell you about Microsoft Excel and the capabilities that it holds and etc. Okay, but I'll first take a break. So let's be back in like 20 minutes and then discuss the rest of the topics over here. Right. All right. So we'll learn about 1 second. Yeah, we'll learn about Excel from scratch. Okay. A lot of you guys might have noticed that so many people use Excel, right? Even people who are non-technical, like people who are from non-technical background, even though they use Excel. Have you seen bank staff use Excel so much? You know, even retailers use Excel. So point being, Excel is a spreadsheet tool, right? Which is, I mean, very popular because of a lot of benefits, because of a lot of, a lot of functionalities that Excel provides us with. Of course, the first one is ease of use, right? It is user friendly. It has a lot of utilization that we can do. Plus, it is very versatile. So a lot of things are there are many features that can be applied to data analytics requirements over here, and you can create multiple different things which includes your spectrum of analysis. You can import a lot of different kind of data types like text files, CSV files, Excel files. All of that can be imported in Excel and worked upon. You can clean your data, you can visualize your data, and etc. Right? So in general, when we do a process of data analysis, the first step is to always start by defining the objective, defining what are we trying to do, right? What is our goal? Then we kind of understand and look at our data to identify what kind of cleaning might be required in this data, right? We'll have to clean the data to be to be sure that we are using the right data to solve our problem. Once the data is cleaned, that's when we move towards the actual analytics of descriptive and diagnostic over here, right? So process is one step by definitely starting with understanding what is the problem, what is the objective, and then cleaning. Why I'm talking about this is cleaning is a very essential part of data analysis. And the fact about cleaning over here is that Excel provides a lot of tools for cleaning and transforming data. And what kind of cleanings? Cleanings like missing value treatments, removing duplicates, formatting data, or a lot of built in functions and formulas that can be used to ensure that my data quality and integrity is maintained. That's why we use Excel to start off with. Okay. Now, let's understand the interface of Excel in just like 5 minutes. Okay. First thing, over here in Excel, each Excel file that you open, like I have opened a data set in Excel, right? Now, whatever I do in this Excel, if I stay in this or I go to different sheets, whatever I do in Excel, this entire file is called as a workbook, right? This entire file is called as a workbook. Inside a workbook, these sheets, like I have one sheet over here, right? If you click on plus, you will create a new sheet and etc. These are called as worksheets, right? Now, if you see a very interesting option over here, is once you open up Excel, the biggest part or biggest facility of Excel is this. Look at my cursor. This is the biggest facility of Excel. This is the ribbon, Excel ribbon, right? So the idea over here is that Excel ribbon has a lot of tabs, lot of groups that contain lot of functions and tools that can help you in your data analysis. To start off with, remember this part that your Excel ribbon is divided into tabs and groups. Okay, the correct technical term is tabs and groups. Okay, so over here, each tab are these tabs over here that is horizontally displayed across the Excel's window. Okay, so if you see home is a tab, insert is a tab, draw is a tab, page layout, formulas, data, etc. All of these are tabs. Right? These are tabs. Inside one tab, you have multiple options to explore and do your data analysis on. Then inside a tab, you have different groups. Like if you look at this home tab, there are different groups. How do you identify this group? Can you see this small dividing line? This very light dividing line. So each of these are groups over here, right? Groups are basically sections within the tab. They're separated by these lines. Okay, so like for example, in home tab there is a group for all clipboard options, all formatting options. Over here as well, some of the conditional formattings and etc, alignments, etc, right? So all of these are groups. Cells is a group, editing is a group, and etc. That's the first division between tabs and groups. Is that clear till here? All right, now every Excel data or every Excel, whatever data you see is always going to be in a tabular format because it's a spreadsheet tool, right? Spreadsheet tool can only process structured data. Structured data is basically the data that is in the form of rows and columns, right? So here my data is in the form of rows and columns. These are all the columns that we have, right? And these are all the rows that we have, right? So we have rows which have indexes like 1 2 3 4 5 6 etc, and we have columns which has labels like A B C D E F G and etc. And everywhere that you click, these are all cells. Cells are those individual rectangular boxes, which is basically nothing but the intersection of rows and columns in Excel. So if I click on any cell, how do I identify this cell? It is nothing but E8. So the cell number is E8. E is the column and 8 is the row. That's how we identify each cell, and obviously columns by their labels and rows by their indexes over here. Right? Clear till here? But having said that, Excel is a little conservative in terms of its own format. What do I mean by that? A lot of times you might face issues of loss of formatting or loss of cell types and etc. Right? Especially CSV files. When you open a CSV file, a comma separated value file in Excel's formatting features, all those formattings won't get saved, or they might get stripped away, right? That's the reason whenever you open a CSV file or a text file, whatever you're opening in Excel, make sure that you're saving it as a Microsoft Excel workbook. So if you look at over here, if you click on this drop down, you will be able to see that what is the name over here. And in fact, even if you click on file and save as, so when you click on file and save as, here you will get a dialog box for saving up your workbook, right? And if you see, I have selected the file format as Excel workbook. If you keep it as CSV, the problem is all your formattings might get stripped away. because Excel is very, very conservative about its own data. So make sure you're saving it up as a Excel workbook to, just properly keep all the changes in the correct place. Right? So clear till here, everyone? Okay, are we all good till here? Great. So you might have heard one common saying that in Excel, you can consider yourself an expert in Excel if you don't use your mouse or your trackpad, right? That's how you operate Excel in export mode, right? You just use shortcuts. So Excel shortcuts is something that you need to master with time. You won't be able to learn and remember all the shortcuts in one day, but the more you work with Excel, and if you try and use the shortcuts more and more and more, that's how you will become an expert in that. But the best scenario, the best way to use Excel is using shortcuts. If you go by clicks also, it might take you longer to do a task. But if you use shortcuts, it will obviously take you lesser time. Right? So we'll learn about shortcuts as well, slowly, slowly. I just wanted to see how many of you guys are using Windows and how many of you guys are using MacBook. Can I get a count? Windows, Windows, Windows. Okay. People who are using Windows, it's even better. Because in Windows, you have a lot of options to use the shortcuts. With MacBook, shortcuts become a little, you know, again restricted. But yeah, Windows, you can use a lot of shortcuts, okay? Like, for example, now if you see, I'm not clicking anywhere, okay? I'm just using my keyboard. And if you use your arrows, the arrows that we have in our keyboards, you will be able to navigate across every cell. You can navigate across every cell using your arrows. Same way, if you use tabs, even tabs will help you navigate across every cell over here, right? So you can use arrows or tabs as in how you like. If you use shift plus tab over here, if for example I use shift plus tab, I basically can again move to left. For example, shift tab, see, I can move to left. So over here, when you are in cell number A1, if you click on tab, my bad, control Z, yeah, here if you click on tab, you will be only going in the right direction, only moving towards the right, right? But that might be a little inconvenient. So if you click on shift plus tab, you will come back on left, right? So this is basically used to navigate left and right and etc. Same way, if you want to navigate, let's say I want to go till the end of the worksheet. Now it is very tedious to scroll down the worksheet, right? So how do I reach the end of the worksheet? Just click on any cell and click on control end or control down arrow, right? Control down arrow or control command down arrow. For people who are using MacBook, you can use command down arrow. So see, when I'm using command down arrow, you can use control down arrow for people who are using Windows. You see, I came to the end of the worksheet. That's the last row for the worksheet. Again, if I click on control up arrow, I will be able to go to the top. See, control down, control up. Control right to the last column, control left to the first column. Right? Clear till here? Did you guys try it out? Just let me know if you guys tried it out. Okay, great. Now, if you have to select the data, let's say you want to work around with the data, and a lot of times what happens is if you see column names are not completely visible, right? Like the column name is customer name, but it is not completely visible because of the size. So I'll have to adjust the size, okay? So what I'll do is I'll press Control A. When I press Control A, I select the entire data. Herein, I can go to Format, okay? Or I can go to Cell. So under Cells, under Home tab, Sales Group, Home tab, Sales Group, there is Format option. I can just click on Auto Fit Column Width. So if you see, there is Auto Fit Column Width. If I click on that, the entire column names get adjusted so that the entire text fills in. Now, if you see, customer name is visible, subcategory is visible, and etc. So these are basic formatting that you should do in your data. Then next thing, for example, if you want to, let's say, just select a particular column, so you can just click on the column label, the entire column will get selected. But if you just want to do it through keyboard, you can press Control Shift down arrow. Control Shift down arrow will select the entire column. Same way, if you want to select a particular row, you can press Control Shift right arrow. That will basically select the entire row. Same way, Control Shift up arrow will select this entire area. See, with Control Shift and the arrow keys, you can actually select different areas like columns, rows, etc. inside your Excel workbook. Got that? Is it clear?
Meghna, one question. Which feature you mentioned which is there in Mac and not in Windows?
No, I just said that. No, I didn't say it is there in Mac and not in Windows. I said people who are using Windows, it's better because shortcuts are more convenient in Windows compared to Mac. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
So are we all good till here? What about the rest of you guys? We are good? You are understanding all the details till here? Okay. Next up, we'll understand how to perform different functions, operations, and etc. in Excel, right? First thing is basic operation. The first formatting that I did was basic. I just fit all the column width so that I can see all the names very, very clearly. Like even the row values are now clearly visible to me. Next up is sorting. A lot of times we might use sorting in Excel because I can organize my data either numerically or alphabetically or by any other criteria, right? And if I sort my data, I will be able to quickly find also specific data points in my Excel workbook. I will be able to analyze better. I will be able to see trends better. So, sorting your data is always a good option. It improves your data analysis, readability, and etc. How do we sort it in Excel? So, for sorting in Excel, again, I'll press Control A and I'll just go to editing group in home tab, and there's an option called sort and filter. So if you can just, of course, you can use sorting right from here. There is sorting of A to Z, Z to A, etc. Or you can click on filter. If you click on filter, if you notice, the filters have come up over here. Okay. Sub menu not visible. Okay, anyway, I mean, I just clicked on editing group. If you look at this group, I just clicked on this editing group, and here itself you will get sort and filter. And in this sort and filter, I just clicked on filter. So when I click on filter, these filters come up over here for every column. For every column, you can see that filters have come up over here, right? Now, how do I sort it from A to Z? For example, I want to sort all the customer names alphabetically from A to Z. So I'll just click on this drop down and I can just choose ascending. If I choose ascending, all the ascending values come up over here. If I choose descending, all the descending values come up over here, right? And let's say you want to select a particular name, you can choose from the filtering options that you have over here, right? If you want to deselect and you want to select everything, you can click on select all. Got that? Is it clear till here? Can you guys quickly try it out and let me know? Are you being able to work around in Excel? Okay, so done till here, right?
So when we directly do A to Z from the editing option without using the filter, which column it will take? Like there are lots of stuff over there.
Yeah, so you usually select a column and then you do A to Z.
Okay.
If you don't do A to Z on by selecting a particular column, whatever is the first column, it will be taken for A to Z.
Okay.
Right? All right. Now, if you notice one thing over here, when you look around in this data, this is a supermarket grocery sales data, right? When you look around in this data, if you try to scroll down, let's say I try to scroll down and I want to see the data. The point is, if you notice, the column names are no more visible. Why? Because obviously the column name is row number 1. Row number 1 is the column name. So when I scroll down, the 1 is gone. Now what happens if even if I look at a row, I don't remember which column this was. And it can be pretty confusing when you're doing any kind of analysis, right? So in this case, we can use an option called as freezing. So what freezing will do is it will keep the header or it will keep the labels visible while you scroll. Right, while you scroll, it will keep the labels visible. So it helps us to maintain a reference point for analysis, or if you want to compare data across different sections and etc. How do we do that? Firstly, I'll select the row number 1. I'll just select my row number 1, Control Shift right arrow. Then I'll go to this I'll go to this tab called as view. When I go to view tab, herein you have a lot of options. In this, in the window group, this is the window group. In this, you will have an option called as freeze. And there are multiple kind of freeze. Freeze panes, freeze first column, freeze top row. So in our case, we are trying to freeze top row, the first row. The first row is what we are trying to freeze. So I'm just going to click on freeze top row. And when I click out, now if you notice when I scroll down, my first row is still intact. So my reference point is still intact. So even if I scroll down, I can still see all the column labels, still compare across all the column labels and etc. Right? So this improves readability, this improves editing process, it improves the fact that we can see the data before we look around and analyze the data and etc. Was this clear for everyone?
Ma'am, can you please repeat it again? Did you fix it, the first row?
So you can just first select that first row, okay, Control Shift right arrow, select it. Then you can go to the View tab on top, View tab and Window Group. So this is the window group. Over here in the drop down, you have options of freezing, right? And I mean, this one is freeze panes, freeze top row, freeze first column. I want to freeze the top row, so I just selected freezed top row, and the first row that I selected was freezed over here. Got that? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And the same way, if I have to unfreeze it, now I don't want it to be fixed. I want it to go back to normal. Again, the same option I'm going to click, and I'm going to click on unfreeze panes. Now, if you see, it is again unfrozen over here. Got that? Can you guys quickly try this out? Yeah, you can. You can. If you just click on few rows and if you just click on freeze panes, then over here, all those panes, if you see, are freezed. See, whatever I selected got frozen. So yeah, you can. Okay, then we'll move to another section. Okay, let's say take few values over here. Okay, let me actually do one thing. Let's go to Home tab. Now in Home tab, what I'll do is, okay, let's take the profit column. Okay, so I have the profit column over here. What I can do over here is in Home tab, number group, you have formatting for numerical values. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll over here apply a comma. Okay, and let's say I'll apply rupees sign as well. Okay, so I have formatted my for profit column. I've added comma. If there are more than 3 digits, then comma will be added. I don't think we have, yeah, we have more than 3 digits. See, comma gets added. Like it's a number formatting, basic number formatting. And I've added rupees symbol. Right, just simple by clicking on this currency node, I can just add the currency symbol. Why I did that, I'll tell you. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll select this particular, let's say I select few rows over here. From profit column, I selected few rows over here. I'll copy this, Control C, I'll copy this, I'll go to a new worksheet and I'll paste it. Now when I try to paste it, Excel has facilities over here for pasting as well. If you look at this, there is this small option over here in the bottom right. This is called as paste special or paste options. Okay, so if you click on this, you will be able to see different pasting options that we have. You can, you can paste values, which will only paste the values. Okay, not the formulas you have applied, not the formatting that you have applied, nothing. So if you click on paste values, if you see, only the values get pasted, the formatting doesn't come up. If you click on values and number formatting, so it will paste the values and the number formatting that you have applied. And the same happens with values and source formatting. So values and source formatting will basically paste exactly what was there in the source place that you copied from. Okay, or else you can, paste only the formulas. If you want, you can paste only the formulas. If you are copying some from somewhere where formulas are applied, you can paste formulas and number formatting. You can keep source formatting. You can even click on transpose. So when you click on transpose, the whole columns, I mean whole rows become columns over here. So it just transposed the data from rows to columns. Again, if you click on transpose, it will come, basically if you just declick it and click on values and number formatting, it will again come in the original format. So these are called as paste options that are available in Excel. Was this clear for everyone? Okay, can I get a yes or no? Was it clear for everyone? So for adding rupee symbol, I just selected the column, and under home tab, number formatting, number group, if you see, there is an option called currency over here. If you just click on it, you can add rupees. If you just click on the drop down, you can choose multiple currencies available. So are we all clear till here? Can I get a yes or no, guys? What about the rest of you guys? Clear? Everybody? Is introduction to Excel clear for everyone over here? All right. I'll keep the class till here. And yeah, I mean, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And from now on, guys, all the classes will be from 10 a.m. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, just an announcement that all the classes from now on will be from 10 a.m. IST. So, yeah, let's meet again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you.